If you don't know the artist yet, she is Kritikai and she is Arolin.
I'm not Kritikai, I'm kadrinoormets.
Kadrinoormets, oh sorry, kadrinoormets. And you are Arolin. Okay, and who did the choreography of this? You are the choreographer. Yes.
It's directed by me and the other choreographer by Maria, who's also a student, and Arolin is dancing.
Okay. Because we weren't sure.
It's totally fine.
So, my first question is, are you testing the audience?
Definitely not. I'm not testing anybody. If you feel that we are testing you, then actually you are testing yourself.
It is very special, very interesting piece, very out of the box, I would say. I'm really curious about how you understand.
Sorry?
I'm really curious about how others in the audience felt, but I really enjoyed it. It was, I think it was a great idea, and I admired your endurance and your strength. It was almost like a workout for you, like body pump or something like this. It's really hard to make the same or almost same movements for such a long time. How could you manage this? What did you do when you got tired, for example, when your arm was slipping in?
I think it's not hard physically.
No?
No, the hardest part is to control the mind, like to really keep yourself on track. But you can do anything. I think it's more like a mental challenge.
And I have to answer like similarly as I answered the first question, that all the feedback you are reflecting right now, actually you are able to answer yourself, or actually you are just reflecting yourself, like your mind. Actually, the hardest part is how to train your mind and concentration. I see it as a human active installation, and the interest is for me to see it as an organized space of concentration. So actually it's not about the body, like physical part, but actually how to reach the mind through your body. So the body work is the basic, it's the first layer of that.
Okay, and how do you control your body with your mind? Do you have perfect control, do you think?
Perfect?
I mean,
are you kidding me? No, I cannot talk about perfect things in the world in general. So I cannot talk about perfect things here either. So yeah, it's through the discipline or through the practice, through also like taking the time as a whole, like 60 minutes where you have to like survive. And so, as you know, it's 60 minutes. You know it's possible because it's not never-ending. It's not about infinity.
And how do you feel each other's presence on the stage? Do you reflect to each other during the performance? Do you communicate somehow?
Yes, yes, we are in the same space. We are sharing the air, and we are touching each other constantly, mentally. So the connection is very good, and it's getting better every time before.
It was also very unison, although you were making different movements. You had some kind of, it was more than connection, it was
synergy.
Yeah, a synergy. It's the best expression, yes.
Maybe it's just a general thing that we are all human beings, and we receive the rhythm similarly, maybe. Rhythm, yes. Sorry.
Do you also use the light, just like the rhythm? Is it also something like something you can hold on to, the light? Do you want to answer?
Well, yes, of course. Although it's a kind of independent component of this piece, but as it stays the same from piece to piece, then of course we take it as a landmark. Yes.
I would like to ask, for your feedback, what did you think during the performance or after the performance? Would you like to ask something from the artist?
Yeah, I have a few questions. Do you ever go out dancing to music like this? This is the first one, and the second is, if it would be an experimental film, it would be called a structuralist film by genre. And I wonder, I'm also asking Orshi, I wonder if there's a term or something like this in dance.
Can you repeat a bit? I didn't hear the... Yes, the first is, yes, of course, sometimes it happens.
If it would be an experimental film, yeah, it would be called structuralist.
Structuralist?
Yeah, structuralist film by genre. I don't know if there's anything like this in dance.
Do you have any answers? Do you have? No. It's my friend from Estonia here. Structuralist. Well, first of all, I don't see dance standing separately from theater in general. So actually, I can come back to this term organized space of concentration that kind of produces repetitive movement that can bring you into some kind of state of mind that you are able to get lost at some point. So it makes you independent as an audience. So I'm not taking anywhere by narrative. I'm not constructing any narratives for you, but you are constructing them to yourself. And I'm providing the space, or I'm proposing you the space that can feed. So feed dance, maybe.
Any other questions? Yes, there, gentlemen.
So first of all, it's just if you're interested tonight and tomorrow, there's a party from 8 o'clock to 8 in the morning, but I'm sure they go on longer.
Well, we can manage with an hour.
Yeah, I was just interested because it was very interesting what happened during the piece, but I'm always very interested about the things, like how it is before it starts and how it is when it's finished. And I felt that the moment before it starts was kind of respective, so we were there. And then, of course, when something finishes, you can look forward to it. For example, it's a performance, or or you can lose the sense of time, or it can just, like, for me, like it happened, it's just suddenly, it was just over, the performance. But I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know, it's a question or a request, but for me, yeah, I felt like when it's over, it's not respected or like, it was just sudden and then it's the clap.
It's
and
the
I
cut,
felt,
like.
yes.
So by the audience? Respected by the audience?
No, to respect what was happening on stage, and I felt that there is a, like, before it started it was respected from your side, and when it was over it was just a cut. So is it a kind of conscious decision, or what do you think about?
You mean the ending wasn't expected? You mean, or?
No, my question is, what do you think about your? How do you feel when it's over, and how do you feel before it starts? And just how do you relate to this?
Do you mean that there is a preparation?
Like, no, we can just discuss about it or have a conversation about it. That how do you feel, or how do I feel in the beginning, and how do I feel when it's done? I'm always. It's a constant dialogue between us and you all. So the feeling state for me is the same after having a like inspiring or not that inspiring conversation. So usually, as audience is always perfect, then I kind of feel inspired, and actually I feel more energized as well, because the conversation or dialogue constantly, or it produces energy. So if I was energized in the beginning or physically fresh, then in the end I'm renewed or refreshed.
You talked about that you don't want to create any narrative, and that you're creating a space which we can join or can join. So 4 weeks ago I was lucky to join, to attend one of these endless concerts composed by Morten Feldman, one of these composers of the 50s and 60s, American composers of the 50s and 60s. Lasting 4.5 to 5 hours, where of course nothing happened, no narrative at all. It's this unstructured Klinklang, without any narrative. So Morten Feldman, when he composed these pieces, he said, I don't care what people think about it, and I don't care how people interact with it. Let them leave the concert hall. They might come back. They might have a drink in between. So can you imagine that the audience leaves? No, not to do it 5 hours. Yeah, you know, playing the piano is a little bit less demanding than dancing on stage. But can you imagine the audience leaving and coming back? If you don't.
Yes, I can totally imagine it, because during the making or after the first residencies, when we did it or when we built it, then we did also a couple of showings, and I think Marta was also visiting one of the showings, and then yes, there were people leaving, and actually it was a very nice sign from the audience that they are like living or they are alive, so they are independently thinking and they are like brave enough to take a decision to leave. So it's not an answer.
That's not the point. That's not the point. But if they are brave enough to leave, they are looking for a narrative. If they accept the non-existence of a narrative,
but it's fine
they
anyhow.
can leave and come in. It's not this question of, so I have enough of it.
Okay.
It's only like, okay, I got the image, I take the image with me and I come back, and maybe I get into another one.
Yes, I understand, and I still answer quite the same, because I think it's totally possible, and it's telling me about you as an audience, how you see. So I can imagine you go away, you're coming back, then you're just telling me about your fragmental mind that is the same about the YouTube mind that is taking word from 8 minutes pieces. So I think it's totally, yes, I can imagine it. But I wanted to tell you that when I was saying about narrative, then I'm not telling you that I don't have this narrative with me. But I'm not telling you that, but I'm leaving you free there. So we can discuss it later.
So excuse me, but MAKT made the signal that the next performance is going to start and we are in the late. So I kindly ask you to go upstairs in a few minutes. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you will stay with us, and who has any more questions can catch you later.
And actually I wanted to say that there in the ticket table there are some books if you're interested to read some of the text that we are also created, and go ahead, and the books are there for you.
Thank you.